Hey Brady, thanks for reaching out. Always happy to help, so I'll jump on here and just kind of show you how you can leverage some local internet search volume to bring in a lot of leads to this website here. Um, I know you said your cousin is a web developer, but just so you have a better understanding, what I'm going to do is just take a quick comparison. So I just did Roofing Denver and Restoration Denver, and what I'm going to do is just take the top listed website in each of these areas along with yours, and I'm going to put them both into this tool that I use. And it shows me all the information that Google uses to determine your position in the search results. So as you can see, just based on some of these numbers, why these sites might be outranking yours. But let me just briefly touch on what these numbers mean. And then so that way, as we're going through your site, you can see what changes need to be made and how they're going to affect its rank. So when Google is determining how to rank your website, it's going to use two different factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that it has in your site. Now, this basically boils down to a popularity contest because this authority is gained when other domains or websites refer back to yours and then they create a link called a backlink. And this acts as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. So to give you a quick example, if say the local news station did an article on their website and it was the top 10 best roofing companies in the Denver area. And in that article, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website. That would be considered one backlink from one referring domain. Now, these backlinks can come from a lot of different places besides press releases, blogs, editorials, guest posts, things like that. However, one very strong and important type is what's called a citation, which is any time that your name, address, and phone number are listed in an online directory. Those include Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, things like that. The good news about those are they're always free. It just takes some time to find them, register your business, and then input the information exactly as it's shown in Google search. So if we go back and take a look at some of these websites, you can see based on the number of links and the number of websites that are linking back to theirs, how much authority and trust that Google has placed in them and the reason why they're ranking in number one. However, it is something to note here is it's not just a matter of the sheer quantity of these links. Quality has a lot to do with it. So we want to make sure that we're finding, partners to link to that aren't spammy. They're definitely inside the United States and relative to your service industry. So anything to do with roofing, construction, restoration, things like that, because they need to have trust in order to transfer that through the link to your site. However, the second way to determine and with your ranking in the search results is the content on your page, which is what we really got to work on today. So as you can see here, Google is only picking up two keywords, which are your branded keywords. Let me just take these competitors here just to kind of give you a quick example to show you how it works. So, okay, water damage restoration, Denver, Colorado. So there are two types of keywords. One is just a generic keyword, say roofing, water damage, things like that. People, they might be searching anywhere across the country and they might just be looking for information about a topic. But if somebody is searching for water damage restoration Denver CO, obviously they're looking for a company to do some work for them. So this is what I call a buyer intent keyword. So these are the types of things that we want to go after. This is a paid program. However, there are definitely some free ones like SEMrush and some other ones. You can do a certain number of keywords for free per day. You can find some more keywords, but basically how it works is, of the total search volume, which is 150 per month for this one keyword, Google Analytics estimates that when your site is ranked on page one, you should be getting 10% of the total search volume should convert into a lead. So let's say that you had this on your page and your page was ranked, you'd be getting 15 leads per month. Now, obviously, you're not going to close every single one of those deals, and the size and scope and profit margin varies greatly for each job. But you can just see how the sheer volume of leads coming in can definitely add up to some revenue at the end of the month and at the end of the year. And that's just off one keyword phrase. So if I repeat that same process for all the high volume keywords, you can definitely see how that can add up. However, there is a formula that Google uses to find these on the page. So now let's take a look at the site. As far as Google is concerned, it's a robot. It doesn't care what the layout looks like. The first thing it's going to do is just going to come in and count all the words and text on the page. Now, generally, I recommend anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 words on a home page, only because the more information that you have on the page, the more of an expert you seem to Google, and then the more likely it is to recommend you. Kind of like the difference between having a book and an entire series of encyclopedias. So layout wise is great for the user experience because you've got all this information right at the top of the header. What I would suggest though is a majority of people nowadays are searching on a mobile device. So you definitely want to make sure that your site is mobile friendly. Not only is this going to change the format to fit the screen, but we want to have what we call to action buttons. So instead of just having a contact where it's going to bring them to the contact page, you'd want to have a button that they could call. So that way this phone number automatically gets put into their phone and starts dialing, whether you want them to call you, email you, whatever it is, but we want to have that one call to action button so they can easily just click it with their thumb when they're on the screen and it'll automatically go to either the dialer or to the email. A lot of times having a form to fill out on the home page is very beneficial too, because some people might not want to call you directly, but they might want to send you an email. So having that form is also pretty helpful in capturing a lot of those leads. But the biggest thing that's holding you back right now is just the amount of content on the page. And the reason I say that is because, while Google comes in and counts all those keywords, while it counts all the words, it's looking for those keywords. So any of the services you want to offer and then the areas you want to offer them in. Now this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play, because you're only allowed to have one of those keywords for about every 100 to 150 words of text on the page. So the more keywords or services you want to be found for would be the more information you need to add to the page. The reason being is the last few updates, Google is really putting a big emphasis on quality content. So not only is it counting the number of words, it's also reading the content. So if you want to qualify for say, roofing in Denver, the keyword for roofing Denver has to be basically backed up with about 100 to 150 words of text that are specifically describing that keyword in order for Google to recognize it and pick it up. So what I would do is we separate everything into headings, kind of like just like doing an outline. You have the main heading, which would be your main keywords, and then we'd have about 100 to 150 words of text describing that. Maybe some kind of picture, because obviously you want to break it up a little bit so it's not just a wall of text. Then we go to the second heading, has your second keyword, content to back that up, and so on and so forth, and continue that until you have all the main keywords on the home page. If you're going to service more than one location, we want to keep each page having a specific location. So the reason being is I noticed that you guys have Denver and Nebraska. So let's say somebody is searching for Denver, and you have Denver and Nebraska keywords on your homepage. So Google's going to say, okay, well, that's a 50% match because they have two locations. One of them is specific to the whatever somebody is searching for in Google search. But then if there's another company or another website that has one page that's dedicated to nothing but Denver, Google's going to look at that saying, okay, well, this page is 100% relative to the services that somebody's looking for. Your page is 50% relative, so it's more likely to recommend the other competitor. So we want to split these up into having very specific keywords for locations for each individual page. And the way we do that is just having what's called a location back page. So you'd have, pmservicescorp.com/Denver/Nebraska/ whatever locations, and then, whatever keywords in that specific location. I've seen a lot of places that, you can have one for every single town and city, and it's just a way to get search volume. So if there are areas that are these are good paying jobs, good median income, things like that, and you want to attract more business, throw that as a location back page. If there's a place that has a lot of your services from, then you can do that one as well. I mean, you can have an unlimited amount of pages. You just want to make sure that you have enough content on it to back it up, and there are actual keyword searches for those. So that's where a little bit of research comes into play to make sure, like, we can't just make up a keyword for roofing in every city. That doesn't mean somebody is actually searching for that. So it may not be beneficial to have tons of location back pages, but just ones that are a good fit for your business. Then what I would also probably suggest is attaching the map to the footer. The reason being is, whenever somebody does a search, the first thing that's going to come up are the paid ads. These do get kind of pricey depending on how much cost per click it is. I mean, it could be a few dollars, could be $20, $30, $40 per click. So it does get kind of pricey to be in there. However, this is powered by your Google Business Profile, which is free to have. So depending on the location or the proximity of somebody searching to your business location will determine if you're coming up, in this top 3, which is really beneficial because you're on first page guaranteed in these top 3, and upwards of nearly half of the business can come right here because it's just listed right on the first page. Now there are ways to optimize that Google Business Profile listing in order to come up in here. Obviously, you want to fill out as much information as possible. Even your business description, you're allowed 750 characters. I usually stuff some keywords in there as well. Basically, fill out as much information as you possibly can. Definitely want to collect as many reviews as you can. Then you want to get as many of those citations, your name, address, and phone number. Try to get listed in as many directories as possible. But then Google really rewards activity. So, however many pictures or posts that these people are doing, maybe you want to post weekly, have 2 or 3 pictures uploaded a week. You just want to be able to have more overall activity than anybody else on this list. And then I go one step further. When I'm posting a picture, Google can't understand what the picture is by looking at it, but it understands the information that's embedded in it. So for instance, when you take a picture with your cell phone, it automatically embeds time, date, location, things like that into the image itself. And that's what Google is going to be recognizing. So no matter what, whenever I'm uploading a picture, I'm putting a geolocation, so a longitude and latitude that's attached to it. Doesn't have to be where the picture is actually taken from. I just assign it in a basically a big radius from my location. So that way Google can understand your service area and it's more likely to bring you up for search results even further away from where your business address is physically located. However, underneath that, this is what's called the organic search results. So this is where the more authority or trust that Google has in your site, the higher up on the list you're going to rank. So this is where getting more of those links or referrals from other websites helps you climb and outrank the competition. And then regardless of the location where somebody's searching from, as long as you have that keyword on your site and your site is ranked, you're the one that's going to be getting the clicks and all the leads coming into the business. I know this was a lot of information. I hope it was helpful. But please, if you get any questions, feel free to reach out. Prior to teaming up with a friend of mine and starting up a roofing business, I do own and operate a marketing company that is still active. We still have clients, so I'd be more than happy to help you if you need some information on, doing some keyword research, figuring out goals for the business, or just having somebody that can help you with the overall build. I've got a whole web team here that does work with me, so I'd, be more than happy to help you out a little bit more if you need to. Otherwise, I hope this information was helpful for you and your cousin, and just keep in touch if you need any more.